Gallagher here. If you want to grow your channel quick and easy, subscribe and smash that notification bell, because I share with you all the tips, tricks, and strategies that I use to grow this dead channel from 0 to thousands of subscribers and became a YouTube partner in just a matter of months. What's happening? So in this video, I'm going to share with you what it takes, or at least what it took me to get to the point where I am now, and that is generating over 300,000 views a month, as you can verify right here on Social Blade. And for me, it's come down to getting the vast majority of my videos ranked in the search and suggested results. And today I'm pretty excited because we're going to cover the 3 most important things you can do to get your videos ranked. And this is actually coming directly from YouTube staff themselves. And real quick, I get a lot of questions about this. If you are interested in generating automated income daily through YouTube like this, even if you're not a partner, click the link in the description to watch over my shoulder and set this up for yourself. And if you do come over here and visit where my video course is at, you can see where other YouTubers are using my income method and they're sharing their results right here. Okay, so back to YouTube sharing the secrets to their algorithm and how to get views. And of course, with views comes watch time and comes subscribers, so this is very important. So that's right, YouTube has been responding to questions YouTubers have been asking with regard to growing on YouTube. So as most people are already aware by now, Google owns YouTube. And so if you go to Google support and look in the YouTube thread, you can see these recent responses here, and I'll put a link to that in the description as well. And so as you can see, there are a lot of responses. And so what I'll do is I'm going to distill this down to the 3 most important that I've seen on here. But you can, of course, read through them all if you're interested. That said, what YouTube staff are saying is a little surprising. So tags, even though they still serve a purpose, are becoming less and less important. Now that doesn't mean to stop using tags. YouTube themselves are still using them, so don't ignore them. I would recommend to keep using them the same as you are right now, as they still play a role. If that changes, I'll certainly let you know. Now, equally surprising is they've said that the thumbnail is one of the most important factors. And by thumbnail, they mean having a high click-through rate. And if you're not familiar, click-through rate simply means the rate at which your video is clicked on every time it appears on YouTube. So if you upload a video, YouTube sticks it out there for people to see and to decide whether or not they want to watch it. So they put it in the search results and they put it in the suggested results based on what you've indicated your video is about. And so let's say YouTube does that 100 times. They make it appear in the search and suggested results 100 times. And out of those 100 times, only 1 person clicks on your video. That's a 1% click-through rate, which is somewhat low. And so YouTube is going to take that into consideration. It's going to say, okay, maybe we're wasting space by displaying this particular video, and so let's do it less and less. Now conversely, if out of the first 100 times your video appears in the search and suggested results, 80 people click on it, which would be extremely high, but just to make the point, YouTube's algorithm is going to notice that. And as a result, it's going to make it appear even more. It's going to put it out there again and again and again, because if people are clicking on your video, that means your video is keeping people engaged on YouTube's platform rather than leaving and doing something else. Now you can check for your click-through rate to see what it is within your YouTube analytics if you don't have, extensions like vidIQ as I have here. But the idea is YouTube's algorithm is set up to favor activity that, again, keeps people on YouTube's platform. Now, if your click-through rate is low, then one thing you can do is look to other videos that are currently trending within your niche. And so as an example of how to do that, again, if you don't have a free extension, you can just go use YouTube's filters. So if we were doing something on Resident Evil 2 Remake, let's just go ahead and click on this. And then we're going to adjust a couple filters, and we're going to open this up. We're going to click on, let's say, this month. We're going to open it up again. Notice it's saved this month. Then you have to go over to sort by. I'm going to sort by view count. And so now YouTube is filtering it so that we're looking at only videos that have been loaded in the last month and that have the highest view count. Now, of course, you're going to want to take into consideration their subscriber base. Like if they have tons of subscribers, that's one reason why they're getting lots of views. So I like to look for videos that are getting lots of views but have relatively smaller subscriber counts, and then look at their thumbnails. So like here's one that's pretty small and here's one that's pretty small. And so what we can see here is just, images of gameplay. This one has a nice overlay with the text, Resident Evil 2 Remake Origin with the colors, the red and white, nice contrast. This one's a bit darker, maybe it causes people to look at it more to see what it is. And as we scroll down through, we can see just a lot of them don't really put a lot of text or information on the thumbnail itself, but just images of the gameplay. Here's another one that's doing really good, and you also, not only do you get ideas about the thumbnails, you get ideas about what type of content. So here's a comparison between the old and new Resident Evil 2, so you got side by side, so that's a very interesting thing to consider. So just a lot of ideas, what stands out to you, what's working for these other YouTubers, those are the things you're going to look at. And then again, monitor your click-through rate to see if it increases or decreases, and then adjust accordingly. And if you're not good at making thumbnails, you could maybe, if you had a little bit of money to invest, go over to Fiverr and get a Fiverr gig to create you a thumbnail. But again, that's up to you and your budget. Now, the next most important thing you can do for your video to get it ranked and to get it views is to focus on the title. Now, this is important for two reasons. One, it's the most impactful in terms of telling YouTube what your video is about, and so that helps YouTube decide where it should display your video when it comes to the search and suggested results. And then, of course, after the title, then the description, the tags, the transcript, all those sorts of metadata follows. But again, it's the title that's the most important in that respect. And secondly, with regard to the title, is it too has an impact on click-through rate. Now again, to increase your click-through rate in terms of using the title, you can do the same thing and just filter the results as we did with thumbnails, and then go through and analyze the titles. So you can see a lot of these titles are using all caps, some of them have brackets or parentheses, and undoubtedly they all have keywords, but you can also evaluate that. What type of keywords are appearing in these other titles that are doing well? And another tip you can utilize with titles is you can actually create two small titles into one title. So for instance, the main boss in Resident Evil 2 is known as Mr. X and also known as Tyrant. So you could do a title that said all Tyrant encounters and then put a bar or a dash, like a hyphen, and then put every encounter with Mr. X. So now you're doubling your chances of getting your video exposure. So people that are searching for videos relevant to Mr. X, your video could be showing there. YouTube could place your video in front of those YouTubers, and people looking for videos related to Titan, well, YouTube could also send that same video and stick it in front of them as well. And lastly, and perhaps the most important factor, second to getting someone on your video, is that once you get them there, YouTube takes into consideration for how long you keep them there, your video watch time. Because again, remember, the end game for YouTube is to keep people on its platform. So the longer people watch your video, the better, because again, it signals to YouTube that people are staying, they're not going elsewhere. And this is good for a couple reasons, but one reason it's good, and perhaps the main reason YouTube likes this, is because the longer your videos, in particular if they're 10 minutes or more, I believe that's at the point where you can run multiple ads on your videos. And so if you can get people exposed to more ads, YouTube loves that, because that means it's generating more income for YouTube, more ad revenue. And again, you can utilize your watch time in YouTube's analytics to check on that. If your watch time sucks, then a few things you can do to help keep people on your videos is to do lots of editing to keep your video visually interesting. You can do list videos, so 5 ways to earn money in Red Dead Redemption 2, 3 awesome Fortnite hacks. So that way when people get on your video, they want to get all those tips, they'll stay longer to make sure they do. You can also just tell people, hey, I got something cool to share with you at the end of this video. Please watch the end, or be sure to watch the end. You can even use music. Music has been shown to extend people's time on your video, especially if it's a cool song. So all these things can come into play, which I share tons of more of these tips on my channel. So if you are interested in that sort of thing, be sure to subscribe, ring the notification bell. But to wrap this video up, again, the 3 most important things, and this is coming directly from YouTube, is ultimately the click-through rate, and you get that by having attractive clickable thumbnails, and the same thing with the title. And so think of this as a competition. When you put your video out there with your thumbnail, you want your thumbnail to be better than anyone else's that's on there with yours. You have to outdo them, get that click from your competitors. Same thing with the title. Make your title more clickable, more interesting than your competitors. And then the next goal is, once people are on your video, keep them there. So the more your videos are getting clicked on and the longer the people are watching your videos, the more YouTube's going to keep putting it out there to get more clicks and more view time. So again, don't take it from me. If you want to, come over here to the Google support site, check out the YouTube help thread. But again, according to YouTube staff themselves, that's how you get it done. So good luck, give it a shot. And with that, I'm going to wrap this up, and I will see you in the next video.